As revolutionary as the redesign is, though, the new Maxima is very much a mechanical evolution. It's still a mid-size sedan, still front-wheel drive, still has a 3.5-liter V6 and a CVT, and still very much straddles a line between mainstream and luxury. Now, that V6 has been thoroughly updated and now produces 300 horsepower. That's a lot, and it feels like it. This definitely gets moving, but it's also an awful lot to be sending through the front wheels only. When you really gun it or power out of a corner, the wheel does have a tendency to sob back and forth. All-wheel drive should be an option, and not only just to cut down on torque steer, but it would benefit bad weather traction as well as improved dry weather handling. The revised continuously variable transmission, or CVT, is hard to fault. It's smart enough to keep revs up when you're driving aggressively, and it simulates gears when accelerating hard to make it sound and feel like a regular automatic. It also helped the Maxima get nearly 29 miles per gallon on the Edmunds evaluation route. You can also call up those fake gears using the paddle shifters, but really, the CVT still doesn't feel quite appropriate for something marketed as a four-door sports car. The rest of the Maxima really doesn't live up to that billing either. The sportiest SR trim's handling is surprisingly sharp on fun, twisting mountain roads. The steering in particular is smooth, light in effort, but high on feedback. Unfortunately, the SR Sport Tune suspension is just too jittery and jiggly, even on relatively smooth pavement. If you're constantly driving on one of those fun, twisting mountain roads, then yeah, you could probably live with it. But then again, if you live on a fun, twisting mountain road, you're probably not buying a Maxima. You're probably getting a rear or all-wheel drive sports sedan. As such, we'd stick with the other Maxima trims that are better suited to be cross-shopped with entry-level luxury sedans like the Acura TLX, Lincoln MKZ, Volvo S60, and even the Infiniti Q50. It certainly has an interior that stacks up well. This two-tone cabin in the SR trim really is sharp, and the materials are a clear step above an Altima or any other mainstream sedan. Actually, in some ways, it's better than an Infiniti Q50. Specifically, its infotainment system. This new standard 8-inch touchscreen is bigger, has crisper graphics, the menus still make sense, and you can now pinch and swipe like on a smartphone. Plus, you get this knob that you can use to scan a map or wheel through a playlist. Essentially, it does most of the things the touchscreen does. So, if you prefer to use a touchscreen to accomplish a task, you can do that. If you prefer to use the iDrive-like knob, you can do that as well. Whatever you prefer. And speaking of smartphones, there's this nice deep bin to keep it out of the way. Unless you have some big mini tablet phone, but then, oh well. Now, if you're thinking the Maxima compares with a big sedan like a Toyota Avalon, think again. It may be similarly priced in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, but the backseat headroom is kind of tight, and the legroom very much depends on who's up front. The trunk is also significantly smaller than most full-size sedans, but at 14.3 cubic feet, it's on par with most mid-size sedans and bigger than many entry-level luxury sedans. So, if the Maxima's radical styling appeals to you, you'll find a sedan that is pleasant to drive with a powerful engine and a lovely, easy-to-use cabin. Otherwise, it doesn't deliver the sportiness of a four-door sports car, the space of a similarly priced mainstream sedan, or the luxury badge of, well, a luxury.